नहीं आया, अभी दिखाती हूँ तुमको। फोटो कॉपी करानी।
A very good afternoon to all the dear principals and teachers, and thank you for joining us for the 19th fortnightly session organized by Knowledge and Awareness Mapping Platform. I, Arika Mathur, convener of CAMP, will moderate this session today. Today we have with us Dr. Tanu Kukreja, Associate Professor of Psychology, School of Liberal Arts, IILM University, Gurugram. We have with us Mr. Rashish Kumar Mittal, Mr. Amit Shukla, Head Capacity Building Group, and my fellow campus. I welcome you all. Knowledge and Awareness Mapping Platform is an initiative and knowledge alliance of CSIR NISPER, that is National Institute of Science, Communications and Policy Research under the Ministry of Science and Technology with industrial partner NISA Communication Private Limited, NCPL. CAM believes that every student is blessed with a core talent and aims to bring out the best in them through this platform. So CAMP is back with the 19th fortnightly session of the year 2023 on understanding, identifying, and developing scientific temperament. Scientific temperament has always been an essential character for the development of any individual. It has been noted that individuals with high scientific temperaments have been able to distinguish themselves by all means. By what exactly do we mean by scientific temperament? We all want to know that answer. Well, to begin with, the term scientific temperament consists of two words, scientific and temperament. The former relates to the validated facts governed by certain principles or relating to science, while the latter refers to an attitude affecting how the individual behaves and feels. Together, it is an attitude that enables an individual to perceive things in the light of facts and make better decisions in life. In order to do so, it must be noted that one must seek the cost and effect relationship in everything and not just the correlation between two things in order to analyze things much more efficiently and more importantly in a much more scientific manner. So it is noteworthy that for a country to thrive, there is a need to inculcate scientific temperament within the younger generation and enable them to think rationally in order to make better life choices. Especially in India, where we have more than 40% of individuals under 18 years of age. That thus it becomes essential that the parents and the educationalists teach children and the students the concept of decision making based on a scientific approach. Hence, it is the need of the hour that educators help students enable themselves and enhance their curiosity and their exploring nature over making them motivated to self learn and also enable them to seek the answers independently. We must allow students to ask answers and questions in a more practical manner. As well, we be able to successfully provide them with an environment that enables their learning with respect to enhancing their scientific temperament also. So therefore, today's session has been organized to interact with all the beautiful and amazing teachers who are preparing our students for the future. Before we go ahead and invite our special invitee here, I would like to inform you all that recently on January 19 to 21st of January, CAMP conducted its National Assessment for Scientific Temperament and Aptitude 2022 for the classes of student 5th to 12th for approx 1,200 schools across pan-India. The schools included CBSE self-finance schools, Kendriya Vidyalaya, Navodaya Vidyalaya, Army public schools, etc. from all over India. The purpose of this assessment was to identify and promote scientific temper among students. This is one of the primary initiatives under CAMP. The result will be announced at the end of this month and the dates will be announced soon. Last but not the least, I would request, so please share your feedback in the form of a Google form or in the form of a video at the end of this session so that we can keep bringing interesting content for our associates. I hope you all will enjoy this today's interactive session today. So now I invite Dr. Tanu Kukreja Bayana. She's a associate professor of psychology at the IILM University in Gurugram. She has a wide experience in teaching and research at reputed private Indian universities such as MIT and GD Goenka. She has more than 17 publications to her credit and has presented at least 21 research papers in national and international conferences. She's a certified trainer for training and managing individuals with learning disability or teachers when it comes to education and portage management. She's a reviewer of Springer's esteemed journal, Journal of Autism and Development Disorder. She has conducted several sessions for corporates like Boston Scientific, LinkedIn, DuPont, Royal Bank of Scotland, and many more. So I now request Dr. Tanu to kindly address the gathering. Over to you, ma'am. Ma'am, your voice is not audible. Ma'am, I think you need to
Is the voice cracking?
it's a bit little you need to adjust the mic, ma'am. Still not visible.
Is it fine now?
Now it's better, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it's the internet problem, I can switch to the other network.
No, that's okay, ma'am. I think just maybe the mic adjustment will do the work.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, the camp team, for inviting me here to interact with you all, and very gracious of you to speak so much about me, ma'am. Thank you. So I'll share my slides and we'll discuss about scientific temperament. So before we start discussing about the scientific temperament, I wanted to say that this is something that we already know. This is something that we have in us, okay? And because talking more about the attitude and the thought that is behind the scientific temperament. Let us first understand that what is scientific temperament, then we will also talk about it. How do we develop it? What do we do about it? You can see this. Do you see my slides, ma'am?
Yes.
So before we start, I would like to tell you that I'm currently working, as ma'am told you, that I'm working as associate professor of psychology here. And we run 3 programs of psychology apart from the other programs in the university: BA Honors Psychology, MA Psychology, and also the PhD in Psychology. So we have been teaching UG, PG, and PhD here. Let's come here. When we talk of scientific temperament, we are talking of 2 things specifically: the science and the temperament, right? I'll talk about the temperament first, because scientific temperament is an adjective that we are giving to the temperament. That temperament has to be scientific. So if we talk of temperament, let us first, discuss and let us first understand what is the importance of we display certain characteristics which defines our behavior. So why are we even talking about it? I'd like to talk, do a small activity in the group. Is the chat box open for the participants? Will they be able to type in the chat box?
Yes, yes, they all can access the chat box.
Okay.
Even they can
Maybe
invite
you
the
can
participants
unmute
to
yourself
unmute.
and give your responses. So I want to. Okay, I think there is some. Okay, all right. The voice was cracking, but I think you are saying the chat box is open for everyone.
Yes, ma'am. The chat box is also open, and I have given the access to all the participants so that they can unmute and they can directly interact. She's just joining us back. There seems to be some internet issue at her place. Kindly bear with us for 5 minutes.
Uh, Hi. I'm sorry for the interruption. I've changed my network now. I don't think there should be a problem.
Yeah, the voice is clear now, ma'am.
Yeah, I've come on my hotspot. All right, I'll share my slides again. Right, so I was talking of activity. Very sorry for the interruption. So what I want everyone to do is just take 10 seconds, very simple activity we are doing. And I want you to think of a person that you really admire. And, and I want you to think about two qualities of this person that you really want to inculcate in yourself. Okay. There is no bar to whom you should think about. It can be any child, it can be any celebrity, it can be someone from home, office, it could be anyone. Okay. And the two activities two qualities of this person that you really want to inculcate. So just take 10 seconds and put your answers in the chat box. And if you want to switch on your camera and talk about it, that will also be fine. Yes, Neeraj sir, I think you're saying something, but it's on mute. All right. So generally, when we think of somebody and we think of any qualities that we would like to inculcate in ourselves, these are the qualities. Probably, the person is very compassionate. The person is very disciplined. Is on time always. Is very hardworking. Is very calm. Is very optimistic about the things and has perseverance. These good communication skills. So these are the general things that people tell me in my lectures, that this is what we really want to have in ourselves. All those activities that we generally see in people, all the things that we observe in the people around us, it's behavior. It's how are they behaving uh, around themselves, with their kids, in the office, everywhere. How are they generally responding to any situation that is coming on their way. So these are all behavioral, and that is why I wanted to prove this fact here, that it is very important that we talk about a lot of tech skills and everything, but it is more important to talk about the behavioral skills, the temperament, the basic nature of the human being. How does he respond to the environment? Okay, and that is why we are here. We want to learn about inculcating scientific temperament. So there are two terms: science, temperament, right? So if we talk of science, if I ask you, and we have all studied in our school as well, that science is a systematic study of the facts, the structure and behavior of anything, be it living or be it non-living. We could study both. So what we do in science is we do both the things. We form theories, we prove those theories, okay, by doing some researches, finding out the facts, collecting the data, and proving it that the theory was correct. This is what we do in science. The difference is that we do it with a certain characteristics. What are these characteristics that we look up to when we use scientific methods? The very first characteristic is reliability, that there has to be consistency in what we do. For example, let's take, we are using a lot of gadgets at home also. Let's take the example of the automatic washing machine. Okay, so there might be an idea of reducing the manual efforts and putting the efforts automatic. The thing should happen, washing should happen automatically. Now, reliability here means that every time when you use this machine, it is going to give the same results. Okay, and it can be applied to a larger public population. Any people from any background can use the machine. So it's reliable in nature. It gives the same performance every time. So anything that we form through scientific methods has to be reliable. Okay. And then it has to be valid. Valid in the sense, we generally use this word in our conversations as well, that you are talking about a very valid point. Valid here means that you are talking what was required, very up to the mark. So we talk of the problems which are, specific, focused, and we find solutions for them. Correct? So here, when we say scientific temperament, we want to say looking at the things around us and within us, both. Looking at it from a perspective of science. Be more logical in that, have more rationale behind what we are doing, why we are doing, and have a perspective of curiosity. Okay, so scientific temperament, this is what this would be the basic agenda. What are the main traits of the scientific temperament? Okay, so the major part of my presentation, I've taken the credit goes to the article Developing Scientific Temper by Professor P.L. Dhar in IIT Delhi. He works on this. So scientific, when we talk about it, these are the specific points that we will be talking about. One by one, I'll be taking it. Healthy skepticism, universalism, freedom from prejudice or bias, objectivity, open-mindedness and humility, willingness to suspend judgment without sufficient evidence, rationality, and perseverance. Let me just take it one by one, and we can also, I'm also open to discussion if you want to stop me anywhere in between and discuss something. Let's talk about it. Healthy skepticism. It's our basic nature, it's our innate nature to be curious, to explore things. Rather, it is an instinct without which we'll not survive, without which we'll not be able to, find out the threats around us. So we keep exploring the environment around us. We want to know more about the environment around us, correct? So we have curiosity to know more. And we also have this innate tendency to doubt things. But let us, when we talk of scientific temperament, I'm talking about healthy skepticism, not for just the sake of doubting anything, rather raising healthy questions. Why this must be happening? Why this process is not happening this particular way? In fact, we can also question the evidence. For example, the earth is flat. People provided evidence for that, right? And then there were other scientists who said, no, the earth is not flat. And this is the evidence in front of you. Correct? So we can also question the evidence on evidence. No? So healthy skepticism is something that we have to inculcate in ourselves, and not for, putting someone down. Do not accept others' assertions unless these are logical, rational, and are supported by proper evidence. Whatever is happening, the major example of these days would be social media. Whatever comes in front of us, even if it stays there for a few seconds, it has left an impression on me. When we are talking of scientific temperament, we are talking of the thoughts that we have, okay, and what kind of thoughts we should have, because the thought itself is not action. We cannot say if somebody is thinking something, he'll also react in the same way. But definitely, the collection of thoughts, same kind of thoughts, if collected, they'll force you to behave in a certain way. They'll push you towards one direction to act in a certain way. And that is why the root level is thought. We need to work on our thought. The way we'll, respond depends on what we'll think. Okay. If there is collection, we'll respond the similar way. So we have to be logical and rational while we accept others' opinions. We should have our own tendency to question them. Okay. So here as I said, the next point says that we need to believe what, I have found evidence of. I need to collect evidence to believe on something. It's not that if somebody is giving me evidence, it has to be from an authentic source. It has to be from a reliable source. Okay, not WhatsApp, not the the social media. We need to check on with the other things. So we need this attitude of having healthy skepticism, having healthy questions around us. See the children around us. We teach children, and we do have children at home. They're always raising questions. Why this is happening a particular way? There's a research which says a toddler, asks 200 to 400 questions in a day. And they don't hesitate to ask in front of anyone as well. If they have a doubt, they'll ask you a question. So let's have that attitude of raising questions. Okay. What is the benefit if you do so? If I have healthy doubts on the things, why this must be happening a particular way, we'll go with the face value. Face value क्या है? जो ऊपर से दिखता है उसी को हम मान लेते हैं. We'll have a tendency to go beyond. So to go beyond, what will I do? I'll read more. I'll talk to more people. I'll discuss to more people. I'll seek guidance. I'll seek support. I more logical who are experts of the field, reading more about that particular correct? We are our decision to read more about it, find more about it.
Now, I think we are having some internet issue from your end. Your voice is cracking. Am I audible to you, ma'am?
Yeah, it's audible.
Yes, ma'am. Your voice is clear now.
Okay.
We were facing some technical issues. There was some
Okay.
internet. Yeah.
No problem. I'll just get back to my card. Okay, so this is our first trait that we need to develop, healthy skepticism. Be curious about the things, and we need to know that this is our innate nature. If we won't be curious, if we won't allow ourselves to seek questions, we'll feel dull and down. So we need to be curious about our surroundings, about what's happening around us. Second, very important, universalism. We don't do anything that, I don't want to say that it caters to only a specific population. That is also fine. But whatever we do, whatever inventions we do, we should be able to generalize. It should reach to the maximum population. The facts could not be only 2-3 people. The facts are for everybody. Okay. If I am not able to replicate your research, if I am not able to replicate what you did in your process, if somebody made a washing machine and he told me how to make it, and following steps, I should be able to make it. It shouldn't be like only that person can make that washing machine. So it is universal. The facts, knowledge, it goes to everybody. Okay. So this is one of the important point. Acceptance of evidence should be reproducible by others, by the other people. Whatever evidence you are saying, whatever evidence you are giving, facts you are giving, the other people should be able to replicate it. They should be able to reproduce it. Okay. It's not a prerogative of the selected few people. If it is science, it is universal. Because science is for humankind. It's not for some general, or 2-3 higher class people. It's not like that. So that means the way I'll think universalism, if I'm talking about emotional intelligence, if I'm talking of attitude of optimism, I need to read more about how people are doing it, and that should be applicable. Okay. Very third important point is freedom from prejudice or bias. We should have the capability to be free from the prejudice or bias. So ideally, prejudice are required, but if you look at the social media, we get influenced by what we see, and it happens like conditioning happens. It happens to us very quickly. For example, if you look at some story for 2 to 5 seconds, and that is why you see the ads that we see very smartly, they have kept it for 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, you are able to skip it because your mind grasps attention in that particular time. So whatever we are seeing is having an impression on us. Not necessarily it will create a thought, but if several impressions are there, the thought will move towards that side. For example, you see a particular ad of toothpaste. I'm telling you how we are getting influenced and how do we form prejudice. So for example, you see this toothpaste ad regularly. Okay. So when you go to the mart to buy toothpaste, you see that particular toothpaste is lying in the rack. So what that advertisement did to you is that you picked up that toothpaste, read the instructions and the ingredients that it has, and probably you were interested in buying it. but at least it could capture your attention. The advertisement made you think of that particular product. Okay. And there are several other examples also. If you respond to me, will be able to do certain activities as well. I'll show you how stereotypes work. Very simple. I'll say something and you just complete my sentence. Okay, not thinking much on it. You just have to reply on it immediately. Okay. So all these scientists are complete my sentence. You can put it on chat box or you can unmute yourself.
Geniuses.
Geniuses, right. So I think we're all, what perspective we have of scientists is that they're genius, that they're intelligent. And if I say all the people who wear white lab coats are, the most of the answers would be doctors. And we also know that, there are many people who wear white lab coats, but most of the people that we see in white lab coats are people who are doctors. Correct? So we form certain stereotypes towards a particular circumstance or profession or situation. ऐसे हम अपने attitude बना लेते हैं. So we need to have the understanding, where are we biased? Whatever I am thinking, does it have certain evidence behind that? Does it have certain logic behind that? Or it's just random? Random behaviors are not accepted. Each of our behavior has to be goal directed. We need to have a goal and think towards it with a focused attention. If we do random behaviors, we'll not be able to lead our way. So if there is prejudice or bias, so what will happen if there is prejudice or bias? It will not be universal because you are biased towards one particular community, towards one particular product. So universal kaise hoga? To make it more reliable for a larger population, we need to be free from prejudice and bias. Very important. Objectivity. Again, it means that there is no bias, but it also means that that we are focused and we are also observing the things as they are. We are not manipulating our own perceptions by the biases that we have, but rather we are trying to be non-judgmental and we are trying to see things as they are in their original nature, okay? Without putting our perceptions, without giving our attitude to it, okay? And without just trying to manipulate and fit in my own preconceived notions. Getting my point? But here we have another point as well, which is opposite to it. Subjectivity brings individual differences. Subjectivity brings beauty because we all are different. We all have different perspective. So there is a little controversial concept here. However, objectivity, brings us the most accurate information, most correct information. If we only talk to the people and talk about their opinions, it has to be subjective. It will be subjective experiences. So that is why we need to have the scientific approach, be non-judgmental and take the things as they are in their original nature, right? This one is again very important, open-mindedness and humility. What is the connection between, the humility and open-mindedness with the temperament, scientific temperament? If we'll have open-minded, it will be open-minded, we'll have more scope of thinking even more, okay? We'll have more scope of thinking even more abstract. We are not, putting ourselves into the boundaries that this particular problem will be solved in this particular way. When we are open-minded, we discuss with people. When we are open-minded, we seek questions. We ask questions. We seek answers from ourselves. We seek answers from the people around us also. And we don't hesitate in that. When we are open-minded, we, take the information objectively. There is no biasness in that. Okay. So we have to be open-minded, and our basic nature is that we use heuristics. Heuristics are shortcuts. To analyze something, we use heuristics. For example, if I see somebody in white lab coat, I might think that he's a doctor. So what my brain did to me was that it gave me a very quick answer based upon the short processing. That is fine. Heuristic help us survive in a daily life. But when we have to think about some serious issues, we have to think more scientifically in nature. Heuristics do help, but I need to know that I'm using a shortcut. There might not be sufficient evidence behind that. If I am believing on something which is given on, which is published on social media, I am believing a social media advertisement, but I must know that I haven't collected sufficient evidence to agree on that, to believe that. Fine. So what is the problem here is that most of the things that we do are based on heuristics, on shortcuts. And that is why, the correction in the attitude is required. It will happen slowly. We'll not be able to develop scientific temperament by, attending one lecture or few activities. This is a routine task. We have to inculcate in ourselves on a daily basis. We'll have to practice these traits in our daily life. We'll have to be will be closed minded in some particular situations, but because I want to have scientific temperament, I'll just remind myself I should try to be more open minded here and listen to what my friends are saying rather than being arrogant and not listening to them. Okay, so if you are objective, this is connected to each other. All the points that we are talking are connected to each other. If we are objective, we'll be open-minded because we are non-judgmental, right? And if we are open-minded, we'll be able to take things as they are without putting any judgment. So they are connected to each other, correct? And when we are, having the trait of humility, we are compassionate towards the people around us. We are more interested in knowing them as they are. Okay, rather than putting my expectations on them. What I'm trying to do is understanding them as they are without putting my own judgment on that. This again, I think, is the most important part. We know that we have some preconceived notions. We know because this was a trend in my family, and that is why I have learned it from there. Even then, we just keep doing those rituals. Even then, we keep just doing those behaviors. All of the religious practices that we do are what we have learned from our family, from our society. But what scientific temperament here is telling us is it's okay to adopt anything for which you have enough evidence. Ask your parents, why do we do? Ask your colleagues, your friends, seniors, why do we do these religious rituals that we are doing? Because everything has a logic behind it. And be open to understand the logic behind that. What we do is, because we have got conditioned of doing certain behaviors, we are not open to change our behaviors. So there has to be willingness to suspend judgment without sufficient evidence. If you know that you don't have any, much sufficient evidence behind that, probably it's a time to change your thought now and be more open-minded and read more about it, find more about it, and form your new judgment. I'm not saying you'll be wrong if you don't have evidence, but if you know that you don't have evidence, you'll have to look for it so that you bring evidence for everybody and tell them this particular behavior, this particular thing is correct. I was saying correct. So I'm not just saying that, plainly you just agree to what people are saying, what the mass is saying is correct. No, bring your own evidence, and there'll be someone who will disagree to your evidence, and they'll find more. This is the process. This will keep on going. So when we look for reliable evidence, and we have to be, more compassionate, and we have to be, the most important thing is here is that we have to be free from our pride and arrogance. Only then we'll be able to find something new. And how will we realize it? That, this particular judgment of mine doesn't have sufficient evidence. Anyone? Is it possible to know that, no, this is not the correct way of thinking, rather I need to see more about it?
Ma'am, can you please repeat your question?
So I was just saying that, is it possible for ourselves to know that I am wrong, I am right, and this is time to change my attitude towards a particular thing? And how do we do that?
Well, personally, I mean, it's quite difficult to understand at the particular situation. We need time for it. We need to assess ourselves for knowing like if we are going right or wrong. And that depends on, I mean, we can do it by some basic study, some research about how people have done this. For example, we can take some situation like you gave a situation, for example, like our parents tell us to follow these spiritual or religious practices, right? For example, you told us that we can question and find out if it is correct or not. So it just needs time and a little bit of research. So we can, I guess, we can find out if they are going right or wrong at a particular time.
Yes, sir. You're absolutely right. We need to be open about the other's viewpoints. We need to when I'm arrogant, I don't listen to the people around me, and I feel that I am the one who is accurate, who is the correct one. So when I am compassionate, when I am non-judgmental, I also listen to the other people. I'll read more. If somebody is giving me a viewpoint, I'll read more about it and maybe get back to my own thoughts that this is correct or incorrect. Probably we might be correct as well, not necessarily we'll be incorrect. So this research, this is the point here, that this research is ongoing. We'll have to keep thinking, am I thinking in the right direction? Okay. Since I come from the mental health field, most of the things that we'll be talking about is the thought and how do we develop that. Rationality. Probably each trait that we are talking, all of it is connected, and rationality is something which logic and rationality is something which literally are the hallmark of the science, which define science. We need to be logical. When we say logical, we say that I have some evidence to prove that this is my logical thinking. This is why I'm saying what I'm saying. Okay. And there has to be some goal behind that. There has to be some reason why this behavior, why this particular invention is required, why this particular thought is required. Otherwise, we would not be needing it. Whatever decision making we do, it has to be based on certain logic and rationality, not plainly on the basis of the perception that society has given us. This is what we want to do. Each decision that I take should be based upon the logic and not plainly on the perception, which is mostly emotion oriented. Okay, we see whatever we see in social media, lot of advertisement, they put emotional content because they know that we get more influenced towards it. Correct. And we stick to the information which is more emotional in nature. I'm not saying emotional information is not rational, but let us just put our logic to what we are seeing, what we are listening, and whether it matches with my goal or not. Why would I do something which is not my goal oriented? So we don't have to do random behaviors. Watching these reels randomly for several minutes or hours, not all the reels that we are seeing are very typically related to my goal. Okay, so we need to see what we are doing, what we are thinking. So everything is influencing us directly and also at subliminal levels. Even before we know it, it has already created an impression. The trouble that we are facing right now is not getting influenced directly. The trouble we are facing right now is that all that we are doing, it was always there, but the social media internet has created more problem from that perspective, that it creates impressions, several impressions on our brain. And that is why, if you have seen this particular documentary, The Social Dilemma, it tells you how these impressions are literally manipulating our behavior. So, which also means that my behavior is being governed by the other things. I'm not asking to resist the internet, but I'm asking to use it wisely, because logic, rationality will come from there only. If we spend a lot of time watching random things, doing random things, how will we reach to a conclusion which is logical in nature? So we need to read more about where we want to take our life to. Another very important thing here is perseverance. We won't achieve anything until unless we, keep working on it, despite difficulties or delays in achieving success. Any specific target which even doesn't require much effort of yours, or a big target, whatever we want to do, we need to have be consistent in that. Here also, when we are talking of scientific temperament, if we need to develop scientific temperament, we need to have perseverance in watching our thoughts, and how whether these thoughts are connected with the scientific temperament or not. If my thought is not scientific in nature, do I keep this thought or not? How much time am I spending on my thought? Okay, whatever actions of ours which are continuous in nature will at last lead to that only. Whatever we are doing with most passion and zeal will lead towards that. If I want to achieve goal A, but I'm working towards goal B, how will I reach to goal A? If I'm spending a lot of time on that, whatever we want to do, it will need two things: time and effort. So even if we talk of scientific temperament, it will need our time. We'll need to consciously, remind ourselves that I attended his lecture on this, and these are the points that should be there in my thoughts. Because what has happened over the period of time, we have got conditioned to what society told us, what was the people around us doing. So we got conditioned to that. And to break that now, I need to consciously tell myself again and again. And what I need to do is, whatever goal I have in front of me, short, long, whatever goal I have, I need to have a small target which is achievable. Okay, which is achievable, and not the bigger targets. Because when I achieve smaller targets, I become confident in that. When I achieve, to reach to the bigger targets, to be confident in achieving, to be competent in achieving those bigger targets, there are small steps. And every step will give us confidence to move towards that. This is perseverance. We should not aspire anything which we won't be able to do. Rather, keeping a look at a long-term goal, we should have steps. And every step should be a doable goal, which should give you a confidence. Give the challenge which you are able to complete and gain confidence out of it. So, all my slides here that you have seen, I wanted to focus on that it is an attitude which we need to develop. Okay, attitude is not something that is innate. Attitude is something that we developed after we are born. It is acquired from the society. And now that we are, we know what should we do, what should we be doing. So we can change our attitudes as well. How? We can change our attitudes by seeing what kind of company I'm in, because they are influencing me. What kind of content am I seeing? What kind of people I'm interacting with? Because whatever is my surrounding, that is going to be my internal behavior as well. These will make impression. The impressions will create certain thoughts, and these thoughts will definitely force us to behave in a certain way. Okay, so if we work on thoughts, if we develop a scientific attitude of scientific temperament, each action of mine will also be, logical and rational in nature, will be more intelligent move. So in the end, I want to leave you with these two quotations that I want to read for you. This is Stephen Hawking, who says, "We are just an advanced breed of monkeys on a minor planet of a very average star, but we can understand the universe. That makes us something very special." I want to make a point here while he says this. So as he says, we are just advanced breed of monkeys. If you compare ourselves with animals, what is the difference? They do have instinctive behaviors, we do have instinctive behaviors. But at the same time, we have more wisdom. We can go beyond. Animals react, we respond. And that is how we will develop scientific temperament. I know that I can respond. Anything and everything that is coming to me, I can, analyze that particular circumstance and then respond. Not like an animal who has to respond, react, and has no time to think and then act. So comparative to animals, we are very intellectual and we can go beyond, but we'll go beyond when we'll work on what we think, and then we'll go beyond. The Galileo said in Questions of Science, "The authority of 1,000 is not worth the humble reasoning of a single individual." So I want to leave you with these two quotes, a very big. Okay. So also, very quickly, though I covered these aspects in my presentation, what can we do about it? When we talk about scientific, quickly, what we can do is have a habit of questioning, like a young child. Whatever he has, whatever question he has, he asks without hesitation. So let's have that habit. Let's be intelligent where to ask question, and now we have sources to find out our answers. So we have to have a habit of questioning the things, and that is how our knowledge will be improved. That is how we'll be more logical, more creative in nature. Then second, when we have a problem in our mind, when we have a question in our mind, we need to seek answers from ourselves, which means that we need to internalize why this phenomena exists. What are the facts behind this? What is the process? Now, the interesting part here is whatever problem, the research question I have, it is based on certain phenomena, certain fact, which is already there. Okay. But I need to find out my own perspective of that phenomenon, of that process. So first thing is that we need to internalize. Third is oppose. I write oppose in a positive sense here, that whatever happening around us, for example, the typical example could be rituals that are happening at our home. We can ask our seniors, we can ask our family members, what is the logic behind this particular ritual? Why do we do that? Develop your own understanding of it. Have that habit of knowing things of the society which are happening. It's happening as a conditioned response to certain things. It is learned. So society collectively learned the behavior and everybody is doing it without having a logic behind it. So we should have a positive way of opposing things and asking questions. Now there'll be points where we get stuck. Again, I say that like a child, we need to seek guidance and support. We ask, what does a child do when he has some problem in his mind, something in his mind, that how does this particular instrument works? Tries to explore himself, tries to open it, see it, what's happening, and explores the environment around. But there'll be a time where he's not able to. Yeah, because he conveys his problem, right? So if we are not able to solve ourselves, let us not shy away from seeking guidance from our seniors. There are people around me, there's society around me who's there to support me. Okay, So positively, we can seek support, and there has to be loyalty towards what you are seeking. Okay, so there has to be, it has to be for your own question as well. And moving forward, when we have these questions, I see certain children also in the participants list. So we have to think about the bigger picture for my society, for my nation. And I also tell you here that when I am talking of scientific temperament, it is not an individual matter only. It is not only my matter. It is written in our constitution. Section 51 says that the citizen has to develop scientific temperament and has to be, creative and reforming nature. So if I develop scientific temperament, I am not only helping myself, I am being more patriotic. I am helping my nation to move forward. So let us look towards it in that perspective as well, that I am not only, it is not only for me. If I am developing scientific temperament, if I am developing as an individual, I am developing a society, I'm developing a nation. So it's my service to the nation. I am doing my duties as a citizen when I develop scientific temperament, right? So this is all from myself. A very big thank you to everyone for listening patiently and your time. Thank you. Any questions, if you may have, we can discuss.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, thank you so much for this lovely session. And my name is Rajat Oja, for information. So you have actually raised the bar for the discussion. I mean higher. I have a lot of questions. I don't think you will have. You have enough time for answering all those. Uh,
I'll
raised.
try my best, sir.
You actually raised a lot of points. Like you said that we have been conditioned through the societies, the ways we have been following for so far. And this thing which you shared, first of all, I have this one question only, like, do we have to generate this within our students, and if possible for everyone?
Yeah, definitely. That's our responsibility. That's our responsibility, that we develop the nature of discovery in our students. We need to devise our syllabus in such a way that we have the students are able to raise questions and discuss more. Yeah.
Yes. And I have been working on this particular thing actually for a long time right now, and I have seen a few things. A few problems, like when we try to start something like this. This is actually revolutionary. It will create a reform in the society, obviously. But whenever we talk about a revolution, there are two sides. Obviously, there will be a side which will oppose it as well. When you hit someone's rituals, and if they don't know the answer, they will simply go for the only option, which is anger. It doesn't actually answers. It doesn't respond. As you said, that there are animals and there are humans. We have this one thing which we have patience. We have some level of understanding. So exactly, but whenever someone runs out of answers, they choose this particular emotion, which is only anger in response. So this will obviously bring up these problems also. So that will actually become something. It has been a problem in front of me. So if possible, if we can ever, or if I can ever reach you for some guidance or discussion, if that's possible, please let me know.
For sure. Maybe the team can share my email ID with you.
Definitely.
And you can get in touch with me. And talking about this thing that you're saying, that when we don't have answers, we choose the alternative ways, for example, anger towards it. And that is why, all the content that we see, unfortunately, most of the content that we see that connects scientific temperament with religion. I wanted to keep it very separate, because scientific temperament, definitely it will bring us out of the superstition. It says, scientific temperament says, go deep into your philosophy and understand why certain
things are happening and
or behaviors are why are we doing this?
Yes.
So scientific temperament is trying to develop that inquisitiveness to know and find your answers to it. That is why I kept my topic disconnected from the religion discussion.
Obviously.
Yeah, but the main agenda is that we question, seek evidence, and cross question the evidence that is already there. We need to tell our children that you have the full, what is happening in the school right now is that the child, uh, I myself also have suffered, the child who asks a lot of questions is not liked by the teacher. Reason is she's
Exactly,
not
that
able to
becomes a
complete what
problem.
she came with. She's also right.
Yes.
She has come with the agenda and she has to complete that in within that time slot. And if so, that's the trouble. But we have to have that
The
in
way
our
I'm
syllabus.
the way I'm extending your time right now.
No. It's my pleasure to
Okay.
discuss.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Rajat ji. Right. So I don't think we have more questions to discuss.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. This is Sunil Badapanda. It's a very nice session, though I could not able to join it properly for the throughout the whole time. But whatever I had got through it, I can just from that. It was really a nice session. And as you told, if sometime we have to go for to have some queries from you as such, how can you help it out? Like as Mr. Badoria told about that.
Right. Thank you, Sunil sir. Maybe if a team gives the permission, I can put my email ID in the chat box. And if you want to reach me, I can do that.
Ma'am, I
Thank
have
you.
already placed your email address in the
Okay.
chat box.
I'll also share my personal email ID here because
Sure.
this is
In
the
case
Gmail
anyone
ID
has any
which you
questions,
can reach to.
I think now we've almost reached towards the end.
Yeah.
So I just really want to thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for your time, for taking this session on behalf of Team Camp. We're so delighted that you've with the audience you've engaged and took part out of your time with your inspiring words.
Thank you
The
so much,
session,
Aniket.
I'm sure many of us we have enjoyed the session. Like we even had questions from the teachers.
Right.
It was really amazing.
Thank you
So
so
now I
much,
think we can-
Aniket, and convey my thanks to your entire team for organizing this session. And I
Yes, ma'am.
hope I could do a little justice to the topic.
Yes, ma'am. You did a wonderful job because, like we said in the beginning, that this is an important topic that needs to be touched on.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
Same to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Can I leave the session now? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
I'll just end the session, and you can fill the feedback form for how much you enjoyed the session, and you can also so that we can improve our sessions with your suggestions. Thank you so much.
How can you get the feedback form?
Thank you.
Sorry.
You can get the feedback form in the link. I'm just sharing it in the chat box.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
And you can also follow us on our social media platform, which I have shared on the chat box. I have also shared the links for our social media platform. You can follow us all the places. So I hope you can all see the chat box. I mean, the link in the chat box for the feedback form. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for your participation.
Thank you.